Hello, everyone. My name is Lucia Miranda, and for my project proposal, I will be speaking to you regarding relationships via online dating and the technology. Since the early 2000s, online dating has grown in popularity as a means to bringing single adults together for dating and relationships. As a result of this strategy, the number of solid relationships and long term partnerships has increased. 20 years later, it is still the most popular way for people of all demographics to meet, date, and form relationships. The research for this topic will show how technology in the forms of apps and social platforms has changed the way people connect, communicate, and sustain present relationships. Meeting and interacting with potential partners is an important part of human relationships. But contemporary technology has opened up a broader pool of people who would not originally meet in regular interactions. As a result, more eligible bachelors and bachelorettes have a better chance of finding companionship. Our textbook author, Charles S., alludes to this concept of relationships in chapter 4, titled Friendships, Death Online, Slow and Fair Technologies, where he quotes other authors, but he emphasizes that relationships are an intertwined network that through these means of social media platforms, text messages, manners in which we speak are all intertwined, and we're all intertwining it together, even if we don't physically meet with each other. My research took me to an article written by Roberto Ferdin of the Washington Post. He interviewed a sociology professor at Stanford University, Michael Rosenfeld, that he conducted long-term studies on online dating and the couples who remained together after their initial meetup online. In this study, he broadly states that the dynamics of partnerships and relationships, marriages, and stuff like that have changed from what we originally was known before back in the 50s, 60s, 70s to now the 2000s and 2010s and 20s, because more people, for example, are waiting until their later 20s or early 30s to get married as opposed to earlier marriages. Um, and they are, and the manner in which they're meeting is mostly on apps and social platforms more than it was before. Um, People who meet their partners online are not are not more likely to break up compared to those who meet in person. Though, so his study demonstrates that there is no difference between um, being successful in a relationship or not based on how you met. There's no correlation between that, he finds in his study. Um, According to the research conducted by the U.S. National Institute of Marriage and Relationships, people who meet online marry faster than those who meet offline because you have a larger pool of choices to make, so you could be pickier. The person can be pickier. You will know a lot more about them before the first date because there's a usually a lot more communication done via these apps and social platforms before the first official date or the meetup and such. He also, in his study, he also shows that more demographics, especially older adults and people of different sexual orientations, achieve higher success dating rates um, because of the availability that allows them through these apps instead of traditional dating methods. Um, by that, I mean that, 75% of these people who meet online wouldn't normally meet in person because the app allows them to connect um, differently as opposed to traditional manners like being, in an office, work, through mutual friends or hobbies, some places where you'll be expanding your social networks. According to the Pew Research survey, same sex couples are more likely than straight couples to find their partners online. This is because it's more difficult for them to find companionship offline. In the United States, roughly 22% of straight couples meet online, while 67% of gay couples meet online. In the same interview, so he states that there's a negative connotation of meeting people online and using these dating apps for such things, but it actually, because it's not a traditional approach, even though it's widely used now, but it's still compared and frowned upon through because of previous methods. Um, Another article done by Sarah Conrath of The Atlantic. Um, she is actually a scientific advisor for OkCupid dating app. And she, in her 2020 article, she states that in the pandemic era that we just are passing through, dating has truly changed, and it's because of dating apps and social media platforms that people were able to connect even when we were um, advised to stay socially distanced because of health issues and stuff. And that also emphasized the previous article of the Washington Post saying that, through these media apps, we're able to connect more and communicate more, even prior to the first date, to meeting people. Okay, because of the pandemic's early stages, many users shift their focus away from dating and towards self care and self improvement. This is what she found in her article. Um, she discusses that for example, her Indiana friend Eric, no name given, no last name given, who took a break from dating to focus on himself. And when he returned back to the dating scene in the fall of 2020, he credits his self reflection with assisting him in finding a fruitful relationship. I bring this up because it's when we say that, we're digitally connected um, to it and we lose ourselves in this new technology and we lose some sort of offline and we don't live offline, so we don't interact with people. Um, she emphasizes that the pandemic, at least the changes that it afforded us to, that we were able to refocus on ourselves, and when we turn back to dating, like for the example she gave here, um, her friend was able to be more assertive of himself, and that's what he reflected on his dating, online dating apps and profiles, which is necessary and relates to what S mentioned in chapter 4 regarding focusing on virtues such as patience, um, perseverance, and empathy, because those are required in friendships. He mentions he for to have deep long-term friendships, which also relates to having long-term partnerships and relationships and marriages. So S emphasizes that those things are needed in offline dating or offline relationships. And if you have that, if your offline self, you could relate that into your online persona, which is what that example explains. And also in her research, singles have more prone to branch out from their regular sorted of partners since the outbreak. According to OkCupid data, people are becoming more receptive to different types of partners. But they also show that in this era and stuff, also it polarizes some people, especially these last 4 years has shown that people still won't date other people that have opposite political beliefs. Highly up there. And also religion, but that's secondary. You would think that would be first, but it's actually becoming secondary, third on the list of polarizing topics regarding dating. The popularity of online dating can also be attributed to online dating technology, specifically the algorithm inherited in dating websites, which give users the plethora of options and ultimately potential partners. Um, Two professors from Wayne State University and one from Stanford University um, produced a study that details how technology affects users' um, autonomy and decision making. For example, they designated three types of logarithms that are used on dating apps, which are um, C and CNC and screen. Sorry. This is used by Match.com. The algorithm method, which is used by eHarmony, and the mix. This is a combination of both, which is used also by eHarmony, but also and OkCupid. Um, so regarding these apps, the highest one that has people selecting and highly successful is see and screen method and the mixture of both. Why? Because um, during the match selecting process, online platforms may covet the impression of control and agency. The degree in which each type of dating system can foster these attitudes, as well as the level of ease and accessibility they provide. Overall, online daters appear to want more choices, even if more choices complicate the decision making. One possible explanation why people seek choices despite its potential drawback, according to self determination theory, is perceived as control and the sense of agency that comes with it. So, this study shows that even though having a variety of choices can be a negative effect on dating apps, the dating app allows the user to have control of the selection, which is highly revealed. People want to have that option. People don't want to have someone select it for them, but the app provides them choices based on their profile, based on entries that they, information that they've given. So, in comparison to automated methods, the see and screen systems will provide online daters a higher sense of influence over their partner's choosing judgment or their selection. The happiness of daters' decision making is positively connected to their control over partner selection. Specifically, the enhanced control of afforded by the see and screen formats gives a dater higher satisfaction with romantic decision making with comparison to algorithm formats. This greater happiness may lead to improved perception of success in terms of love, compatibility, or interest in pursuing a relationship with other selected partners. Although there are different views on whether online dating apps are right or wrong for today's tech savvy population, they have a terrific impact on connecting and bringing people of various demographics together who previously have harder time meeting. I believe online dating applications have a significant impact in the past 20 years and will do so in the years to come. They certainly altered necessary rules and the conventions in the realm of romance that they're still being questioned today. Furthermore, technology aids users in picking potential dates and later becoming relationships because platforms such as um, OkCupid, um, Match.com, for example, who use the see and screen method, um, provide the choice of being in control of major life decisions. In the last 20 years, I believe online dating apps have a huge impact. Therefore, some important rules and customs in this romantic element of our lives in our world will definitely change. And I see that is for the better. That is my position for this proposal. I am for the benefits that um, online dating apps and social platforms provide us in connecting with each other and forming friendships and long term relationships. Thank you so much.